Hey guys, Keki here. Welcome to another Should You F.A.P 2. Next up we have is another Femboy game by Boy. Femboys of the Phalanx. This is one of his older ones, and it's for $1. So yeah, let's get into it. Go with the usual name. Your adventure starts here. The year was 432 BC. This year marked the zenith of the Athenian greatness. Athens, the birthplace of democracy. A city bold and prosper. A city fierce and fair. Its neighbors dared not challenge its rule, apart from those pesky Spartans, of course. Hypocrites. They dared judge the Athenian way of life, yet valued not freedom but tyranny. They had no taste for the finer things in life, such as art, literature, and theater. Not to mention their putrid cuisine. But I digress. Let us visit now the Pantheon. The Parthenon. A marvel of ancient Greece and history itself. A temple dedicated to the goddess of wisdom, Athena, patron of Athens. On this day, a rumor of its magnificence would reach the heights of Mount Olympus itself. The structure was completed over 6 years ago. Ever since, it was tirelessly adorned in art, sculptures, and decoration of all kinds. Citizens from all over Greece have gathered here on this momentous day to witness the birth of a legend. Just as the ribbon was cut, rich and poor alike started flooding the structure in an orderly fashion. The crowd roared with cheers of celebration. At the back of the horde, you spot a figure from behind that immediately captured your attention. Legs! He's blessed by Aphrodite herself, there's no doubt. The figure turned around, only for you to realize that what you perceived to be a fair young lady was actually a fair young man. This is Greece, alright? Aphrodite had no hand in it. My mother is the one to praise for these. Don't worry, I get that a lot, hee hee. And the fault is mine. This garment is a bit short. A very hot day, wouldn't you agree? My name is Quinn. Keki. Pleased to meet you, Quinn. Keki, what brings you all the way here, only to admire my legs? That's easy. Aha. I'm a sculptor. So were you the one who adorned the men on those walls with such small phalluses? They were commissioned like that. I had no say in the matter. Good. I would loathe to believe that you saw it fit to neglect their endowment. If only they had the thighs of a goddess, it would seem more fitting. I guess sometimes you just have to find a way to make things fit. I'm curious. Did you perhaps use yourself as a reference? Well, yes. But I had to adjust for scale, of course. I bet. If that bulge in your garment is anything to go by. You look down at your crotch only to witness a big bulge proudly on display. Sorry, that was wait. How did you see my work? The Pantheon was closed off to any visitors these past month. How did you get inside? I'm a painter. Like yourself, I too have fascination with shape and size. So were you the one who painted that minotaur? Yes? The one with the absurdly large phallus. Indeed. A self-satisfied smirk played across Quinn's full pink lips as he stared off into the distance, mesmerized. Well, there won't be much painting for you in the military. I guess you're just going to have to find another way to keeping yourself entertainment. I have a few ideas. Does getting drafted for military service in anticipation of war with Sparta fit with your plans? Actually, yes. and I have been drafted for the Navy. Of course, it's the Navy. Why is it always the Navy? The difference being, wet toga contest. Quinn stared off in the distance again. Right. I think you might have the wrong idea of what the Navy is all about. No, I think they got a pretty good idea what the Navy is. Oh, and you do. All I know is the Spartans are bloodthirsty warriors. Those barbarians will take you captive and make you their slave. Trust me, I'm counting on it. God. At this point, it almost seemed like Quinn was drooling at his thoughts were drifting off into the clouds. Anyways, I got drafted for the army, so that's nothing but a dry spell for me. And don't even get me started on the Phalanx. A cramped space covered with shields, trapped with a bunch of sweaty soldiers. I envy you, Quinn. I would rather serve in the Navy. Quinn was staring right through you as his hands was slowly rubbing up and down his crotch. Wait, when did we get that close? Quinn? Quinn, are you listening to me? Quinn remained oblivious to your words. Quinn? Quinn snapped out of the haze he was in. Yes. Sorry. I was just wondering if I remembered to feed my kitten this morning. You noticed a suspicious stain in the crotch region of Quinn's garments. Wait, but he's wearing a skirt? Huh? Maybe not, since it seems like you also forgot to put on a clean garment. Oh, right. Silly me, always being forgetful. Your mind must be wandering. That's what usually makes me forgetful. Is there perhaps something that's bothering you? To be honest, yes. What is it? Maybe I can help. Quinn looked at you with the blush settling across his cheeks. Perhaps. Well, what is it then? I'll tell you later, okay? Sure. The two of you found a quiet spot nearby and got to know each other. Wait, so didn't he already come in his pants? According to the story? Okay. As it turned out, the two of you had a long common and enjoyed each other's company. Minutes turned into hours. No way! It's already sunset? The two of you shared a moment of silence, admiring the spectacle. Beautiful, isn't it? You turn your gaze away from the sunset and towards Quinn. It sure is. Quinn looked back at you with adventure in his eyes. Hey, you know what? We should try and sneak past those two guards. I'd love to show you some of the paintings I did. And maybe after I show you mine, you can show me yours. Come on. We'll use the back entrance. Oh, hell yeah, they're using the back entrance. With a playful smile on his face, Quinn grabbed you by the arm and dragged you off. Duck. Quinn grabbed both of your shoulders and pulled you down before a guard patrol nearby could spot you. For some reason, his constant grabbing had left you feeling slightly aroused. But you're quick to suppress this feeling and any thoughts that stem from it. That was close. You both shared a chuckle out of the pure excitement as adrenaline was still surging through your veins. Quinn peeked out from behind the bush you were both hiding behind. He's gone, let's go. You were quick to follow Quinn this time, almost as if you were chasing a promise of adventure that only he could provide. Suddenly he stopped dead in his tracks, causing you to bump up against him from behind, with your crotch nestling firmly into his plumb bottom. Sorry. Quinn stood his ground, then looked over his shoulder back at you with a smirk on his face. You dared not move a muscle and make a noise in doing, or at least that was what you told yourself. A sweet scent of jasmine wafted across your nose as you patiently waited for the go-ahead. Quinn grabbed you by the wrist and whispered to you with an urgency in his voice. Quick. The two of them jolted for the final stretch, quickly making your way back inside the back chamber of the Pantheon. You both took a moment to catch your respective breaths, and then shared a quiet giggle, delightfully intimate. Quinn playfully tiptoed over to the painting on one of the walls nearby. Psst, over here. With your heart still racing, you're quick to join him. Impressive, but no overly sized appendages on this one? No. They kept a close eye on me after they discovered what I did with the Minotaur. Too bad. Well, let's see what you got then. You led Quinn over to the work of the chamber with that statue of the goddess Athena was prominently featured. How about that? Big and erect enough for you? Wait, did they put a penis on Athena? The statue stood a towering 38 feet tall, made of ivory and adorned with gold. The goddess was dressed in a tunic of aegis and helmet. That's not yours. Oh, and why not? Too big. Could it be? You turn your gaze towards Quinn with a smirk playing across your lips. Dude, he's literally insulting your size. He felt it when you bumped into him earlier. Quinn was quick to look away at the blush settling on his cheeks. He then took a deep breath in and turned his face towards you. You know that thing I didn't want to tell you earlier? Yes. Quinn looked down and took another deep breath in. So, sometimes when I see a good-looking guy like you, I get sort of tingly. Tingly? You know. You smiled at Quinn, tilting your head slightly to the left. Oh, I know. Earlier when I bumped up against you. Yes? That felt pretty good. Quinn smirked at you at the seductive manner and slightly bit his lower lip. So, I was thinking. Quinn grew quiet and turned away from you, staring down at his feet. I'm listening. What if we tried something? Well, what if I tried something while you were just standing there? At this point, you felt extremely conflicted. You were not sure how to reply. Quinn slowly and playfully moved closer towards you in a very seductive manner, swaying his sexy hips from side to side with each step. He walked right up against you and delicately put his hands on your chest while staring at you with puppy eyes. He opened his mouth slowly and softly smacking his lips. The sound sent shivers down your spine. Don't worry, it'll be our little secret, okay? You nodded approvingly with a mischievous smile on your face. But barely able to contain his excitement, Quinn urgently pulled your garment over your head, then tossed it to the ground. He wasted no time and started kissing your chest passionately. Your tight chest muscles began to relax as you made your peace with the decision, soon relishing in your self-indulgence. As each peck landed on your chest, you can feel your tights grow tighter, restricting your manhood from bursting forth. Quinn playfully started pecking at your nipples, sharing a giggle with you every so often, making an effort to set you at ease. It worked, and you soon found yourself running your fingers down his waist and onto his firm, voluptuous ass cheeks, squeezing them gently. Quinn put his hands on top of yours, inviting you to squeeze tighter. You started massaging his soft bottom vigorously, digging deeper and deeper with each squeeze. Yeah, I'm just thinking why are we doing this in the Pantheon in the first place? That's just my only question. An effeminate whimper escaped past his lips as he continued kissing your body, now moving lower towards your belly. His eagerness started to show as he picked up the pace and soon found himself on his knees before you. Your cock was already fully erect and bulging underneath your tights. Oh my. Quinn's breath grew shallow as his hands firmly grabbed hold onto the sides of your tights. He yanked them down only to be slapped on the chin by your thick member as it was released from its restraint. A slapping sound echoed throughout the chamber as Quinn looked on, in complete surprise and awe. Athena, give me wisdom. How shall I worship such a marvel? Quinn stroked his finger down the shaft with your large member, wrapping his hand firmly around it when he reached the base. He started tugging at it in a slow, methodical motion, all the way up and then all the way back down. His gentle palms and fingers hugging your cock had you properly aroused and eager for this experience. A loud groan escaped from your throat out of sheer pleasure. The idea of getting caught only added to the excitement. Gwen held your cock by its base and slapped it against his cheeks. A tense sensation rose from your testicles as the bead of pre-cum escaped from the tip of your cock. Quinn noticed it and started rubbing the head of your cock against his cheeks, breathing heavily as he relished in your nectar. Extremely aroused by his hot breath on your throbbing cock, more pre-cum escaped from your member, and Quinn glazed his entire face with your sticky juice. He abruptly stopped and looked up at you, biting his lower lip. He then proceeded to pull his garments up over his head and tossing on top of yours. He stood up briefly, pulled down his tights, then kicked them away, before returning to his knees. Actual sex scene? What the fuck? His Funari series. You both got dressed, then Quinn moved towards you and hugged you tightly, resting his head on your chest. After an intimate moment of silence, caressing each other, Quinn gave you a sensual kiss on the cheek, then let go. That was amazing. You're amazing. Quinn looked down and reached towards your left hand with his right, then held it gently. He looked back up with sweet, innocent eyes, gazing upon you with admiration. I wonder, did they just leave the cum on the ground? Like, just imagine you're going to, like, a brand new area that's, like, worshipping God, and you just step and cum. Well, I see you tomorrow. You smiled at him remorsefully, taking a deep breath in before declining his offer. Unfortunately not. I had to see the Oracle of Delphi before I set out for the army. It's something that I've wanted to do for quite some time now, and I fear that I might not have another opportunity anytime soon. I managed to secure a seat on the merchant's wagon. I could invite you along, but there's simply no room. It was hard enough to convince the merchant to take me along. I hope you understand. I guess. When will I see you again? I'll tell you what. Once we both get back from the military service, you tell me all about your wet toga contest. We both shared a laugh, yet the smile on Quinn's face failed to hide the sadness in his eyes. Don't worry, Quinn. You're probably gonna get railed at He grabbed hold of you once more and squeezed tightly. Take care of yourself, Keki. Okay? Okay. You too. Quinn planted a kiss on you, this time firm on your lips, then let go, taking a step back. Now, you may have the privilege of watching me walk away. Quinn turned around and slowly headed towards the exit, swaying his hips with each step. Didn't we, like, break in here? Oh, yeah, we did. He leaned out to see if the coast was clear, looking back at you and winked, then disappeared from your line of sight entirely. The journey was long and arduous. It'll be worth every mile if the Oracle truly can tell what the future holds, you think to yourself. Upon arrival, you were greeted by a large monument with the inscription reading, "Welcome to the center of the world." The merchant brought this weary donkey to a halt and pointed you in the direction of the Temple of Apollo. It was similar to the Pantheon in appearance, though smaller and slightly less extravagant. Without hesitation, you thanked the merchant and ran over to the temple with great haste. An old lady standing by the entrance warned you to slow down, yet you paid her no mind, rushing inside. Upon entering the building, you were immediately struck by fumes and vapors, clouding your vision and soon your mind. Wait, there's a sequel? We actually have what happens after? Guys, I'm calling it. If this story keeps on going on, we're gonna be made a slave, and then that's gonna be the place where we find love. I'm calling it. I already know. I already know how this plot goes. The day after arriving in Athens, you saw for the army base where you were to serve your 2 years of mandatory service. Quinn had already left for the Navy a week prior, so there wasn't much left for you to do in Athens anyways. The journey was short, and you soon arrived at your new home. Dude, this game is long. I'm gonna be honest, we've been here for 40 minutes. A wasteland, you thought to yourself, located in the desert. Located in the deserted mountain range, there is nothing but sand, tents, and soldiers surrounding you. As the sun set, you were reminded of Quinn and then wondered what he was up to. Probably on some ship, getting undressed after a wet toga contest, you thought. You remembered his full pink lips and his luring thighs and shapely bottom. No, you told yourself, this is not the time nor the place. You reported to the lieutenant, who pointed you to your tent after learning your name. And scanning through a long scroll clutched in his hands, you low-key dragged your feet all the way down a row of tents, paying little attention to the road as you reminisced about your encounter with Quinn. I'm surprised we're not thinking about the gypsy, what's it called, the fortune teller. Suddenly you bumped into a petite figure, soft and warm. The young man fell to the ground, landing on his bottom as he stood firm. As his butt hit the ground, he let out an effeminate whimper. Oof. Sorry, I didn't see you there. Here, let me help you up. You reached out your hand and he responded by placing his own in it. It was soft and delicate. His touch was warm and welcome. The two of you locked eyes as you pulled him back to his feet. Oh god, it's true love. He's gonna make you forget about Quinn. As he stood in front of you, you were taken away by his feminine frame. With his twinkling purple eyes burning a hole in your heart, you struggle to find your words. Hi. I'm Alexander, but you can call me Alex. Is that what your friends call you? Only if I let them. They definitely don't have friends. Oh, I see. A smile settled across your face as you were flattered by Alex's approval. Pleased to meet you, Alex. My name's Keki. The pleasure's all mine. You can let go of my hand now. Lost in his dreamy eyes, you took a moment to process the words that had left his luscious pink lips. You slowly moved your gaze away from his eyes on down to his hand, clutched in your own. Oh, alright. Slightly embarrassed, you let go and jerked your hand away. So, is this you? Huh? Is this your tent, silly? Oh, haha. Yes, it is indeed. I'm in luck then. It looks like we're bunk mates. I mean, you don't snore, right? Oh boy, I don't think we're getting any sleep, I'm gonna be honest. No, but I've been known to sleepwalk. Not a problem. Come on in. How is sleepwalking not a bigger problem than snoring, though? You both enter the tent, Alex leading the way. It didn't contain much, just 6 beds and 4 small tables. 5 beds were already claimed by bags of personal belongings, leaving only one free, right next to Alex's. Alex sat down on his bed and patted his hands down on the open bed across from him, inviting you to take a seat. Don't worry, I'll make sure you don't wander off during the night. Good. I'd hate to end up in the wrong tent. Some of these soldiers look pretty grim. You both shared a laugh, and Alex gently grabbed hold of your upper arm. Oh, aren't I lucky to have a strong man like you guarding our tent? He gently squeezed your bicep, causing your cock to twitch slightly in arousal. Gulp. You can already tell we're a whore. So tell me, do you have any experience with the phallus? Oh, Phalanx. Yes, Phalanx. Wait, what did you hear? Oh, never mind. Heh. A blush settled across your cheeks as your dirty mind was exposed in front of your new friend. So, do you have any experience with the Phalanx, silly? Oh, right. No, I don't. How about you? Nope. I don't have any experience with the Phalanx either. I'm actually excited to tell you the truth. I've always been curious what it'd be like. Alex discreetly bit his lower lip, hoping you would not notice, or did he? I'm not sure that I share your optimism, Alex. Perhaps it won't be as bad as I imagined, with a friend like you by my side. Do, do you know? Shrug off any awkward moments with a good laugh. Exactly. Alex giggled and gently poked your chest with his index finger. He joined Alex in laughter, trying to keep his attention away from the semi-tent that you are now pitching. Gulp. Our other bunkmates should be back any minute. There's a curfew after sunset. We have some pretty strict rules around here, so you better not misbehave, mister. Alex raised his index finger and winged it in front of your face. A bead of pre-cum escaped from the tip of your cock. Gulp. Your other bunkmates soon arrived, and the six of you spent a few minutes sharing stupid jokes to break the ice. Before long, the four of your bunkmates had dozed off, one after the other, leaving only you and Alex awake. You spent the rest of the night getting to know Alex, growing ever fonder of him. He didn't seem to ever shut up, yet you still found yourself captivated by his charm. He told you about his adorable cat back home, Whiskers. Hey, that's my brother's, cat. He talked about old places he would show you if he ever came to visit. He went on about all the strange people inhabiting his strange town, and how there was always some sort of performance being put on by the local theater with no talent whatsoever. Finally, he told you about some creepy ruins on the hill near the army base that he promised to show you in the morning, before wishing you pleasant dreams and dozing off by himself. You laid your head down on your pillow and felt a wave of optimism rush over you. This might not be so bad after all, you thought to yourself before drifting away. You're gonna wake up and he's on you. Wait, oh? A loud horn sounded and your four bunkmates flew out of the bed, put on their clothes and stormed out. You laid in bed trying to figure out what the hell was going on. Suddenly Alex grabbed you by the shoulders and shook you. Quick! Get dressed, we need to go. Sensing the urgency in his voice, you immediately compiled and followed him out of the tent. And then towards a pile of shields, laid out on the ground nearby. He picked one up and thrust it against your chest. Take it. He picked one up for himself, then ran off. Hurry, this way. We're already joining the army? Nice. Alex ran up to the lieutenant waiting nearby, then stood at attention in front of him. You were quick to join him, making sure not to move a muscle while standing before the grumpy lieutenant. I like how he's set up a low polygon that they just shrink him and put in the corner. Oh, no, close up. Looks like we have some new recruits joining us today. Well, get in there. Alex rushed to the front of the flank, squeezing his way inside. Hot on his tail, you squeezed in right behind Alex tightly. The lieutenant shouted some obscenities, then violently started battering at the shields with a spear. Firmly nestled behind Alex, he decided that if you had a change of heart, the Phalanx wasn't so bad after all. The lieutenant worked his way from right to left, bashing shields with a long, hard spear all along the way. He made his way towards Alex, and as soon as he reached him, he thrust his spear into Alex's shield with all his might. Alex's body was forced backwards into yours, making his soft, girly butt nestle into your crotch. His butt cheeks were now firmly hugging around your cock. You started feeling your member twitch and grow harder. The lieutenant continued making his way up and down the length of the flanks, thrusting his spear into the shields all along the way with no end in sight. Each time you bashed against Alex's shield, Alex was pushed back into your crotch. Before long, you're completely erect, convincing that Alex must have taken notice by now. With every motion, your throbbing cock is poking in between Alex's plump ass cheeks. The lieutenant noticed that Alex was struggling against his thrust as Alex let out a whimper each time. Weaknesses will not be tolerated. He turned his focus to Alex and stood firm as he relentlessly battering against Alex's shield. Thrust after thrust. Oof. Oof. Ah. Oof. Wait, so I'm guessing Alex is just being penetrated by us now? Is that it? At this point, your cock was throbbing and pre-cum was oozing out from the tip. Get over your older self, soldier. Your fellow man is depending on you. Oof. Oof. I wonder who thinks of stuff like this. Like, who looks at the flanks from like Roman times and they're like, oh yeah, no, let's just make it sexy now. That yeah, no, that'd be so hot. I'm gonna push you to your limits. The lieutenant thrust his spear into Alex's shield with a tremendous force, forcing his butt firm into your crotch. Ah. The lieutenant ceased his battering for a moment and catching his breath. He then started working his way back down to the other end, turning his focus to some points of weakness on the other side. At this point, your cock was throbbing and dirty thoughts were running amok in your mind. Thoughts about how you would endow Alex with a generous load of your creamy semen. Commotion stopped and the lieutenant started addressing the troops. Very good. That's enough for now. Quench your thirst and report back there when you hear the horn. Oh, we're gonna quench our thirst, alright. Without hesitation, Alex grabbed you by the wrist and dragged you off. Come on, let me show you the ruins. Upon arrival at the ruins, you can confirm that this place was indeed creepy. There was something off about it, something felt off. Like it was made in Blender or Unreal Engine 3. Regardless of your lust from Alex was still very much intact. You're extremely curious to how he felt the same way, or if he had even taken notice of your throbbing shaft poking into his butt. So, yes? You stared deep at his selective purple eyes with a smirk playing across your face. I was wondering, yes? You felt your cock swishing again, growing in size. What do you think the lieutenant would say if I asked him to be transferred to the Navy? Oh my god, they're going there too. I'm not sure if the Army really is the place for me. Off guard and disappointed beyond belief, you were at a loss for words. I really don't know. We're just gonna have to move to the Navy at this point, let's be honest. You're gonna play Toga with them. Your gaze was lowered to the ground as you could no longer bear to look at Alex. You're completely disheartened. Unbeknownst to you, while you were focused on the ground below your feet, Alex made his way closer to you. His feet entered your line of sight as you looked up. He was standing right in front of you. Hey, Keki. Yes? I think you're really cute. And you know, the Phalanx. I really enjoyed that. Alex lifted his garment, revealing a wet spot located on the crotch area of his tights. Oh. Did you really think I didn't notice that massive member of yours poking against my butt? I guess not. Your spirits now lifted, you looked closely deep in his eyes and gently grabbed hold of his hand. This might sound a little forward of me, but I want you, Alex. I need you badly. I'm all yours, handsome. Alex pulled his garments up over his head and dropped it to the ground in a slow, seductive manner, revealing his firm pelvis. Reaching down to his tights, he dropped them to his ankle, revealing a small, erect cock, dripping with pre-cum. His nipples were perky and pink, slightly larger than was typical for a male. It was almost as if they were teasing you, inviting you to have your way with this alluring specimen before you. You reached out and put your hands on his breast, gently rubbing his nipples with your thumbs. They're silky smooth, and the tips seem to grow erect beneath your thumbs. You slowly move your hands down to his beautiful shaped body. Work your way down towards his hips, and then onto his plump ass cheeks. They're full and firm, yet soft to the touch. Your cock started throbbing in anticipation. The raw arousal of your hand was on his inviting bottom prompted you into squeezing them gently, and pulling his naked body closer towards your own. His full pink lips met yours in a passionate kiss that made it seem like time itself was standing still. The breeze of the wind settled down as the kiss grew more intense, with Alex slightly sucking on your lower lip. He slowly started working his way down, kissing your neck and making good use of his tongue. In graceful motion, he pulled your garments up and over your head and dropped it onto the ground next to his. He kept making his way down, kissing every inch of your body. As he reached your left nipple, he gently started nibbling on it. He slowly traced his lips to your right nipple, making sure not to neglect it. It was like Alex knew exactly what your body was lusting for, observing it, every thrust and spasm. He moved lower and lower, soon finding himself on his knees in front of you, only to behold the gigantic bulge in your tights. Sexy. I thought he signed for Femboy in the Phalanx. Back in the Phalanx, Alex made sure to nestle his soft ass cheeks firmly into your crotch again. He slowly started working the length of your shaft with his firm butt as you both squatted. Hidden beneath the wall of shields, you wonder what your fellow soldiers would think if they discovered the two of you were up to. But this only served to fuel your excitement and raw arousal. The lieutenant started battering at the shields again, leaving you waiting and anxiously for him to make his way over to Alex. He drew closer and closer, pre-cum oozing from your cock in anticipation. He finally made his way over, and with full thrust of his spear against Alex's shield, your fucktoy's ass was forced into your cock. Alex let out a big loud whimper as your hard cock slid in between his axe cheeks, poking at his entrance. Oof. If it wasn't for the clothing separating your naked cock from Alex's bomb, this would surely result in penetration. It seems as though we still have some few weak points to work on, Alex whispered to himself. Oh gods, With little hesitation, the lieutenant started battering away at Alex's shield, thrusting your bitch's firm bottom deep into your lap, as your throbbing cock cleaved its way to poke at his butthole each time. Oof. Alex's effeminate cries of pleasure drove you mad with lust. Oof. Okay. That's enough out of you. With Alex's mind now in a complete haze, he panted for air, eventually collapsing before the general's feet. Gods! They send us softer boys each year. Oh boy, he's soft, alright. You there. The lieutenant pointed his spear directly at you. Help your friend up and take him to get some water. Did I stutter? No, sir. Good, now go. You swiftly helped your friend up and rushed off with his arm around your shoulders. As soon as you were out of sight, Alex stopped you and gathered his composure. Then started giggling and threw his arms around you and started kissing your neck in giggles. Moving his sweet lips to your left ear, he looked in a suggestive manner, and whispered in it. Take me back to the ruins. Teach this little bitch a lesson. Oh, you little minx. You had me so worried. I might just have to give you the spanking of a lifetime. Alex seemed to be extremely aroused by your reply. He grabbed you firmly by the wrist and dragged you off to the ruins in quite the hurry. He spotted a concealed area among the ruins, dragged you over, and immediately started stripping. Before his garment and tights had even met the ground, he was already undressing you. He wasted no time with your naked body in front of him, as he grabbed hold of your thick shaft, and started stroking it while kissing your body all over in a passionate frenzy. It was clear that Alex wanted, nay, needed you. He needed to feel your throbbing cock penetrating into his inviting ass, burrowing its way deep inside. No longer being able to contain your burning lust, you grabbed your sexy friend by the shoulders and pushed him into his knees. Turn around, you little slut. Let's see that sweet tight hole of your... Meow! What? Your sentence was cut off at a nasally voice coming out from behind a wall. Who's there? Silence. Suddenly, a strange creature jumped out from behind the wall. What the fuck? But yeah, that was Femboy of the Phalanx. Honestly, not bad. I prefer that story a lot. It was really fun to read. The artwork was still bad as usual. That's an Alley Boy classic right there. Now, did it supply joy? Yeah, I really did enjoy reading it. It was kind of dumb, but like, you know, it's a fun read. Yeah. Now, is it like jerk off worthy? Maybe. I'm not sure. I feel like he put a lot of effort into the plot of this one rather than the past other games. It was around like an hour, 30 minutes of content. he definitely put in more effort into the text back when he first started making these. This is one of his older ones, after all. So yeah, the plot usually I didn't really hate it. It doesn't really make sense at some point. We fucked the Futanari inside a Femboy game, so that's kind of weird. Overall, I'd say it's a pretty good game. If you like the Alley Boy series, or if you just want to gift this to a friend, I highly recommend it. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. It's actually I actually enjoyed this more than all the other Alley Boy games I played beforehand. So yeah, see ya.